Well, here we will start my little walk around Asunción, Paraguay. Es la hora de tráfico.
Sí, hay mucho tráfico.
¿Va a ser mucho tráfico?
Bueno,
a las 6.
Ahora empieza porque están saliendo funcionarios públicos.
Quiero ver Costanera.
Ah, ¿en serio?
Yes.
¿Ahora?
Ahora.
Ah, mira.
I'm going to share my first impressions. I don't pretend to be a specialist. I haven't really read a lot about the city. I don't know the history that well. I'm just going to share what I experience, what I see. Yeah, it's been 4 days before this recording. I have a few insights, but I think to keep it pure and honest. Photo. So I was interrupted and the policeman told me that I cannot take videos around here. But thanks to him, he waited a little bit, allowing me to record my intro.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Explore Freedom, my channel where I share my thoughts and opinions on different cities that I visit. Today, we're going to take a look at Asunción, Paraguay through my eyes. And I'm gonna share why I think Asunción is a pretty cool place to live, although it's not without its downsides. There are a few reasons for that. This won't take too much time, so get comfortable and watch till the end.
The point I'm making is that I'm just gonna share my raw thoughts on how it feels to be here. And after getting to know Brazil, Colombia, Argentina, Uruguay, I inevitably compare this place with those countries, but Paraguay has its own unique spirit. I'm only judging, of course, by the city of Asunción. Let's walk and talk. I'm starting my amateur walking tour in Costanera. Costanera is the sort of the boardwalk, the path along the river. Paraguay doesn't have access to oceans and seas, but it does have a river. And we're gonna see that river right now. Here's the beach. There's a very mild looking sun. There's a bit of sand even. In fact, this is not the river. The river Paraguay is over there. This is the bay of Asunción. So what did I enjoy in Asunción? Asunción is a great place if you love beef, steak. They have world-class parillas with amazingly fair prices. There are a couple of places I'll leave links for in the description below. Amazing steaks, same level as Argentina, more or less, or Uruguay. But yeah, great vegetables, fruits, fresh local produce, amazing stuff. The nightlife here, I'm not sure, there's probably some, but it's pretty chill during the week. It's relaxed, it's chill, and it seems safe. Like you don't have to look over your shoulder. Coming from Brazil on this trip, of course, I noticed a big difference in just how much less sketchy the neighborhoods are. I'm not gonna, pretend to know the whole situation. Some people will surely argue with me about the safety, and surely some robbings and snatching of phones and stuff happen somewhere in some parts, but overall doesn't seem to be an issue. The city seems to be very spread out, like butter on a toast. There is no distinct, concentrated, walkable center that I found. The Centro Histórico is a little bit run down and abandoned. The government buildings and all that are still there, and El Centro Histórico still very much functions like the center of the city for legal stuff and such. However, I hear that the desirable business area is moving out of there. It's reestablished around Shopping del Sol, which is a fancy shopping center. The real estate there is probably much more desirable. Not every corner in the neighborhood where I'm staying, which is close to Recoleta, has all the amenities that I like. There's no like corner bars and 24-hour shops and coffee shops easily available. Some parts are very, very quiet in the city center. Somewhere over there, we've got Argentina. Paraguay, in Asunción in particular, attracts a lot of entrepreneurial types and people who have online businesses, people who like to plant flags, if you know what I mean. It's a great tax residency, so the place is increasingly more and more popular among people who want to move their tax residency or maybe even physical residency to this part, because there's a territorial tax system, which means you pay 0% taxes on all the income you make outside of Paraguay, even while being physically present here. So great for online businesses, great for upstarts. And I think there's a flat rate of 10% for the income originated from Paraguay. A lot of people appreciate that. I certainly appreciate that. That created sort of a community of people from abroad who are investing in this country, who are developing businesses here and interact, exchange ideas, which makes this kind of a fertile ground for entrepreneurial endeavors. You know, it really helps that it's affordable and friendly. On the downside, it's maybe a little bit too chill compared to the neighboring countries that offer a lot more in terms of entertainment and just generally more people that live in Argentina and Brazil, which offers its own sort of different league of opportunity. But if you want to kind of bootstrap and take it easy in terms of going out and you know, living the wildlife, this is the place. Look at this bus, Argentina, Alaska. That's a long trip. Follow on Instagram, Viaja con nosotros por. Asunción is very much growing. There's lots of new buildings, very good, comfortable apartments being added to the city on a monthly basis. A lot of people consider this a great investment opportunity since it's a growing city. Definitely follow YouTubers who are a bit more into explaining how things should be approached in terms of investments. But yes, you can see there's a lot of cranes, a lot of buildings being added, well planned, comfortable, big buildings, and also small ones. The neighborhoods are transforming before our eyes. Let's talk about one of my favorite subjects, languages. Paraguay is a primarily Spanish-speaking country, but on the equal footing, this country has another language, which I was surprised to find out about, and it's Guarani. Guarani is a historic language of this land. You may say a tribal language that was elevated, or maybe never lost, elevated to the status of an official serious language that was not diminished by the colonization to the point of extinction like in the neighboring countries. You'll see a lot of things written in Guarani, the language of the government. About a third of households will actually speak Guarani at home. It is a living language, and a lot of people speak Guarañol, which is, I guess, Spanish grammar and Guarani vocabulary. The next language that is probably well understood is Portuguese. Brazil is a big neighbor. A lot of people have connection to the country, especially on the east side. Ciudad del Este, which is the second largest city of Paraguay, will be using Portuguese if needed. Like, people there speak it. I had a ride in an Uber. This lady driver, she spoke Portuguese with me. Currently, Portuguese is a lot more, let's say, well-oiled for me. I use it more fluently than Spanish. Then you will find English speakers here among the foreigners for sure, even among the locals who run businesses, who lived abroad and then came back here to start their restaurants and services and stuff. People who help with residency in Paraguay will definitely speak good English to provide these services. I think that's about it. Yeah, I definitely, number one recommendation is to have at least some basic Spanish, Castellano, when you come here, because that's the lingua franca. Costanera, the walk by the water. What can I say? I was talking to a local connection here, and she said that only tourists bring it to the attention of the locals that there must be more emphasis put on walking by the river, businesses by the river, you know, bars and restaurants and stuff. The locals don't seem to realize that this is something pleasant and cool to have. What you have here is, is a highway by the water, and lots of nature that is, it let be like however it is, but there's not much of attractive sort of landscaping, intentional architecture that makes this place cozy. Case in point, compare it to Brazil. Brazilians put so much premium on sitting by the water, hanging by the water, sleeping in a hammock by the water. It's very, very important there. Here, it's, people like nature, people like the fact that there is a river, but it's clearly not so important. And the fact that this area is cut off from the historic center, there's no like a connecting road that you can easily walk to. You have to walk around the neighborhoods. And as far as I understand, these neighborhoods that are between the old European architecture streets and the river are not the best, like for just casual strolling. They're not touristy, they're not necessarily safe, or they don't appear to be very neighborhoody. So that's another thing that may change in the future, who knows? But for now, that's the way it is. So yes, let me bring it to your attention. In which country, in which city will you have pretty much shorefront properties from, of the level of, lower socioeconomic class? This is unusual, right? Like somewhere in California, this would have been the best mansions because it's just a quarter mile from the river and the air is nice here, where in this case we've got all the developments, all the desirable sort of buildings and stuff and luxurious things more inland. You would think in the country where there's really not much water and not much open sort of shore space, that with nice river breeze, people would really appreciate getting closer to the water. But no, it's kind of a favela-ish type of aesthetic that is really close to the water. I mean, it's truly astounding that such vast plots of land over here in this prime part of the city are just empty, or they have some garages or some shacks or clay houses, little concrete houses. They're not in disarray. It's neat and organized, but it's clearly, like, to me, just like catches my attention. It's a missed opportunity to make amazing real estate projects. And even now, when it's booming and there's so much going on, so many projects being built with like Miami-style buildings, we're still not there. Like, there's no demand, there's no understanding that being by, maybe I don't know something, maybe there are restrictions, maybe there are legal restrictions, but here we are. We'll see what happens when I come back in 5-10 years. Here's the police station. Interesting, huh? A big plus of the people of Asunción, they are friendly. In general, they say hello, ¿qué tal? Buenas tardes, buenas. Much more so than in Argentina or Uruguay. Yeah, I mean, they're not quite at the level of friendliness of the Brazilians, but pretty close. So if you're looking for friendly environment, friendly vibes, you'll find it here. High rise, a sign of things to come. McDonald's next to it. Yeah. But this nice sort of coastal area. We've got hospitals, which is actually nice. If you're in a hospital and you're with a room, in a room with a view to the river, I think it's really nice. And these kind of things await you in Asunción. Open sewage. And of course, my source of infinite sadness is the leftover tracks from the glorious days of rails, of trains that used to exist. Look at this cozy train station, but no train. They've taken them down a long time ago. So all we have left is these abandoned pieces of old infrastructure. Yeah, same thing in Buenos Aires, Brooklyn, New York. Less so now, but yeah, here it's very, very noticeable. Yeah, it goes further down there. Yeah. Some governments just don't care about trains and give in to the other industries, such as car industries and petroleum. Well, this is my review. Kind of exhausted for today. I'm gonna try to get some steak lined up for later. Yeah, overall, pretty cool place, worth a visit, maybe even worth moving to if you put all the things on the scale, things that you like, things that will benefit you. Grateful to be here. Like and subscribe. Thanks for supporting me, and till the next time.
Thank you for watching all the way till the end. This concludes my overview of Asunción and Paraguay, based on the city at least. I'm recording this sometime after my trip. Now that my thoughts are a bit more well-formed, I can say that Paraguay seems like a suitable place to live if you're willing to sacrifice certain pleasures in life. It's a very hot climate, so you have to be ready for that. It doesn't have much mountainous terrain and access to major oceans or seas, so you have to be ready for that. Although, of course, you can fly, just take a short flight to one of the neighboring countries and enjoy the beaches there and the mountains. Brazil is just a short flight away. It certainly has a favorable tax environment and economic environment. There's probably a lot of room for innovation, for creating businesses and services. However, the community is not very vibrant and dynamic. There's not as much going on as in the capitals of neighboring countries, such as Brazil. State capitals are very vibrant, Argentina or Chile. And just be aware that this is a country in an active developing stage. On the bright side, the people are extremely positive and welcoming, and it feels like you can exercise sort of the basic human liberty a lot more here. Like if you need some services or medications at a pharmacy, you don't need to go through multiple bodies of authority. You can, basically solve a lot of things dynamically on the fly by talking to people. A lot of things can be delivered to you by bike. If you stop by a shop and they say they have what you're looking for, but it's at a different location, they'll just take your WhatsApp and your address and deliver it to you, sometime later that day. So there's a lot of sort of quick problem-solving attitude. The police are friendly. It seems like the government organs, the city authorities are fairly fast-moving. At least when it comes to assisting people with residencies. It probably helps immensely to have local connections. If you really move there, I don't think it's going to be an issue to get those local connections. Definitely worth it a stop to check it out. I'm planning to go back and explore more of the country as well. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me today, and I wish you the best of luck on your journey. Let me know what you think. Leave some comments below. I hope I succeeded at being as objective as I could Until the next time, see you in the next video.